Coming up next on KPBS Evening Edition, the cost of being homeless in San Diego, it's so much more than you think. We'll introduce you to a man who, after 17 years on the street, moved into a publicly funded apartment and by doing so saved taxpayers about $100,000.
And San Diego researchers may have found the fountain of youth, but in the strangest place, the guts of a fruit fly. KPBS Evening Edition starts now.
Hello, thanks for joining us. I'm Joanne Ferrian.
And I'm Dwayne Brown. There have been more crackdowns on Occupy protesters across the country this week, and San Diego is no exception. San Diego police raided the Occupy San Diego camp around 2 this morning. 9 people were taken into custody. KPBS Metro reporter Katie Orr joins us now. She's been following this story. Katie, tell us, what reason did the police give for raiding this morning?
Well, Dwayne, police say that protesters have been bringing personal items back into the camp and that it had gotten dirty and dangerous with fights breaking out among the protesters. Police say they also saw drugs and weapons. Protesters answered the raid this morning with a rally and march. They marched from the Star of India to the Civic Center Plaza. They say they've been trying to comply with police, but that they were given very little warning before the raid took place this morning.
And how would you describe the mood now among the other occupiers?
Well, Dwayne, it seems like this latest action by police has actually reinvigorated some of the occupiers. Again, they were rallying at the Civic Center Plaza today, saying that they are in this for the long haul. But again, police say that it can be dangerous. I talked to Captain Mark Jones and asked him if the situation was getting more volatile.
It's one of the reasons that we took action that we did early this morning, because we believe that the groups have become much more violent.
Now, protesters have filed a lawsuit against the city, saying their civil rights are being violated.
KPBS Metro reporter Katie Orr.
There were also arrests today outside a Cal State University trustees meeting in Long Beach. And a San Diego State graduate student was one of those arrested. The students were protesting a plan to raise CSU tuition by 9%. A glass door got smashed as students tried to push their way through it. SDSU student Ashley Wardle was one of the 3 people who was arrested. She was also arrested during last month's crackdown on Occupy San Diego protesters. The day after that arrest, she told KPBS the experience made her more determined to fight for what she believes.
And I'm willing to get arrested for this cause, and I'm willing to get arrested again and again and again until things change.
Police used pepper spray on the nearly 150 protesters. At least 1 officer was hurt.
Federal agents say they've discovered a sophisticated drug smuggling tunnel between San Diego and Tijuana. It runs between storage buildings on either side of the border near the Otay Mesa port of entry. Investigators found more than 6 tons of marijuana on the U.S. side. Mexican police found 7 more tons of pot at the other end of the tunnel. Agents say it's sophisticated because it has structural supports, ventilation, and electricity.
California's 2 big power companies are dropping out of an effort to get customers to pay wildfire expenses that insurance companies won't cover. But San Diego Gas and Electric is pressing ahead. KPBS investigative reporter Amitha Sharma has been covering the story. Amitha, why are Pacific Gas and Electric and Southern California withdrawing from the case?
Well, PG&E says it is backing out of the case because it went into settlement talks with ratepayers and they went nowhere. SoCal Edison won't say why it is withdrawing from the case. But look, Joanne, this was an uphill battle from the start. Earlier this year, a regulatory judge looked at this request by California's big power companies, asking regulators basically to require customers to foot the bill for wildfire expenses that insurance companies themselves refused to cover. She called this request extraordinary and unprecedented.
But SDG&E is still pursuing this case. How come?
It depends on whom you ask. San Diego Gas and Electric said yesterday that they are going to continue with this case because they think it is important, that it is timely, and that it is worthy of its efforts. But a lawyer for ratepayers says the only reason this company is moving forward with it is because it wants customers to pay for the cost of settling lawsuits stemming from the 2007 wildfires, 3 of which were caused by SDG&E lines.
KPBS reporter Amita Sharma.
Thanksgiving is about a week away, and San Diego's primary distributor of food to the needy is concerned about the future of 2 federally backed programs. They provide more than 60% of the items distributed by the San Diego Food Bank. About 110,000 people rely on 2 little-known USDA programs run by the San Diego Food Bank. They're seniors living on Social Security, low-income military families struggling with the high cost of living here, as well as individuals and families. Today, the food bank showed us these handwritten messages urging our congressional delegation to help save the programs. In the sea of about 3,000 paper plates from food bank clients, these messages really hit home. Here's one. It says, "I am currently unemployed and have a family of 4. In these hard times, I appreciate all the help from this and other facilities." And this one from a corporal in the Marines says, "The cut is really hurting the military families that already don't make enough. Please help our family." This is the amount of food seniors receive under the program right now. This is what military families and others receive after the program was cut from 10 items to 5 this year. And this is what the needy will get if Congress doesn't act by the end of the month.
And we don't know what that impact is. We have to look at it on the most serious side, and that is a 25% reduction in food.
The food bank was serving about 45,000 people a month on these 2 federal programs when the recession began in 2008. Today, the number of needy people on the programs has more than doubled to over 100,000. We've gotten a report card on a project to help San Diego's homeless off the streets. Joanne has more over at the Evening Edition Roundtable.
When United Way's Home Again initiative launched Project 25 last year, the goal was to move 25 of San Diego County's chronically homeless into permanent housing. Project 25 was looking for frequent users of public services costing taxpayers over $4 million a year. Well, today Project 25 announced it has enrolled 35 men and women into the program and placed 27 into permanent housing. In just a moment, I'll speak with one of the men now in housing and the head of Project 25. But first, take a look at some of these numbers. These are some stats for Stacy Collinsworth. He was homeless until 4 months ago. You'll meet him in a moment. In 2010, for a 6-month period, Stacy used an ambulance 43 times, went to the ER 30 times, and was arrested 4 times. He cost the system more than $100,000. In 2011, Stacy got off the streets. He used an ambulance only twice and went to the ER 3 times. He cost the system about $7,000. Joining me is Stacy Collinsworth and Brian Manshine, San Diego County Commissioner on Homelessness. Thank you both, gentlemen, for being here. Brian, let's begin with you. Who was Project 25 looking for when you began this program?
What we wanted to identify were who were the chronically homeless individuals who were costing San Diego taxpayers the most money. So we went out and we identified them, and then we brought them in and provided the housing and services to just greatly reduce their economic impact to San Diego.
So when we talk about costing money, things like ambulance services, hospitalization, those kinds of services.
Absolutely. And what we found was among the frequent users, these individuals who are now in the program cost taxpayers on average about $200,000 per person last year to continue to be homeless. And now by getting them in the program, they cost about $30,000 to $40,000, and their homelessness has ended.
So, Stacy, you are now in an apartment? Is it an apartment? Right. So where were you living before the apartment?
Anywhere I could lay my head, pretty much. I try to get out of sight, but sometimes that doesn't work.
And how long were you homeless?
Altogether, off and on, for about 17 years.
And do you recall the first time somebody came to you and said, we want to give you a home?
Yeah. I was a little scared. I thought it was a trick of some sort, because normally people don't want to help people, so I went ahead and called them, and here I am.
So what made you believe them, that it wasn't a trick, that it might be for real?
Well, being on the streets, as long as you can pretty much judge by character and tell if they're sincere or not, and they seem pretty honest about it, so I give them a shot, and so far it's doing pretty good.
So, Brian, I remember being at the first news conference when you announced this months back, hoping to get 25 people, and there seemed to be some concern that this would take a long time to find the right people and to get them to believe that this was for real. How's it gone? Is it better than expected?
Absolutely. I think you're exactly right. I think there was an initial thought that this is going to take a long time to get people into the program, and what we found has really been the exact opposite. We were able to get somebody, and Stacy's a good example, somebody who had been homeless for 17 years. And we were able to get them off the street really very quickly. Now they're in housing and services. You can see the way they've cleaned up their lives. They've changed their lives. Their lives have turned around dramatically, and they're in a good place now. And secondly, they don't continue to cost taxpayers year in and year out to pay for the ambulance services, to pay for the emergency room visits, to pay for law enforcement. So from a cost savings standpoint, and then from just a human, kind of moral or ethical standpoint, this has really been a great success. This
still has to cost somebody money, though. You're saving taxpayers money, but someone's still paying for housing, paying for this program. How are you funding this?
Absolutely. There's still a cost involved. Obviously, it's a dramatically reduced cost, but there still is a cost involved. And we've formed a partnership between the United Way, the City of San Diego Housing Commission, and the County of San Diego are our main partners, but we have 22 agencies who are participating in this program. So we're getting help from all over the spectrum in making sure that this program is a success.
Stacy, what's your apartment like?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's really nice. Something I can call home.
When you wake up in the morning and you wake up in a bed, what are your thoughts?
First will be thank you, Jesus. Because this is definitely a blessing. And then I just plan out my day of what I'm going to do that's going to be productive, instead of getting myself into further trouble.
Is there anything that's difficult to not be on the streets? I mean, it's a big transition.
Sometimes I miss the friendship, because there are some good people out there. I miss hanging out with them and stuff like that, but I have to go forward instead of just staying stagnant.
Brian, one of the things about this program that unlike traditional programs to help the homeless, you aren't looking to sort of get people in addiction counseling or recovery before you give them a home. You're giving them a place first. Why is that? Well, what we found was the hurdles to ending homelessness are very, very steep. For somebody who's been homeless for 17 years, there's a whole host of issues that they're going to have to deal with. And so the hurdle is when they're on the street, it's just very, very difficult to get through all those issues. Having said that, once we get them into housing and start the services there, the success rate moves up astronomically. And that's what we've found. So if we really want to make an impact, we have to do it that way. And now that's really being shown as that's the effective model to get at these root issues. Stacy, quickly before we go, what's the best thing about being in that apartment?
But cleanliness and showers, that'd probably be my most important thing.
Great. Good luck to you. Thank you both gentlemen for being here.
Thank you.
Hundreds of people have simply vanished in Mexico over the past few years. Drug cartels are blamed for many of these disappearances. Now families of the missing claim there are no investigations. Those stories coming up in a moment from our Fronteras desk. This is KPBS Evening Edition.
Tonight on KPBS. At 8, he lived as a wild turkey with his family of chicks until the day came when he had to let his children grow up and go on their own. My Life as a Turkey. Then at 9, see how scientists are piecing together the most complete picture yet of time, space, and the universe. Fabric of the cosmos. Then at 10, join the search for a single harmonious theory of everything on Nova, Elegant Universe. That's tonight on KPBS.
On Masterpiece Mystery. The treasure. Do you have it? What? Sherlock Holmes.
We're obviously looking at a suicide.
It does seem the only explanation of all the facts.
Wrong. It's one possible explanation of some of the facts.
Can you not keep doing this, please?
Sherlock on Masterpiece Mystery.
Sunday at 9 on KPBS. KPBS Evening Edition is made possible by Joan and Irwin Jacobs and by
The United Nations says more than 3,000 people have disappeared throughout Mexico in the past 5 years. Many of them lived right across the border from San Diego and Tijuana. Joanne sat down with our Fronteras reporter Ruxandra Guidi earlier this week to learn more about this story.
Almost 500 people have gone missing in Tijuana and the wider Baja California region since 2007. Some of these disappearances are kidnappings by local criminals for ransom. Others are believed to be carried out by the drug cartels. In their despair, family members of the disappeared have been taking matters into their own hands and pressuring law enforcement to do more to resolve the crimes. Joining us now to talk about this is KPBS Fronteras reporter Ruxandra Guidi. Thanks, Rux, for being here.
Thank you.
So, do we know what motivates some of these disappearances?
We really don't know. They're believed to be a mix of kidnappings for ransom, forced disappearances, sometimes by law enforcement, sometimes by gangs, local gangs or drug cartels. So there's really no telling. We just know that they've been on the rise in Mexico since 2006, when the drug war was waged by President Felipe Calderón.
Tell us about some of the people you met while doing this story, the families who've had loved ones disappear.
Sure. I met Cristina Palacios. She's a mother of a man, Alejandro, who disappeared 17 years ago. So that's a long time ago, and she's been searching for him. We see her picture right here. She's holding a photo of her son, and she hosted a mass for family members of other disappeared in Tijuana. And the folks got together. There was a mass to remember a lot of people who've been missing and hoping for their return. And after the mass, family members let these balloons off into the sky, and they, in remembrance of everyone who had been disappeared. I also met some working class mothers who gather outside the municipal building in Tijuana every Friday to try to see if they can run into someone from law enforcement or public officials to try to dig up some information about their kids.
Tell us about the first woman you mentioned, the mom holding the picture of her son.
Sure. Cristina Palacios, she is a well-to-do woman from Tijuana. They own a lot of businesses. She herself told me, this is not an issue where if you have money, you could pressure, the powers that be, or you could get some answers. This affects all mothers alike. And Cristina Palacios has organized a lot of women, mothers and fathers, to basically pressure law enforcement. They've even created a forensics checklist. Basically, law enforcement in Tijuana had been looking for bodies or for people without any sort of standards, really, and they created this checklist to see about collecting information and data, DNA data, to then send to Mexico City so that they can check certain bodies and mass graves to the people who've been disappeared.
How long has her son been missing?
17 years.
And is she still looking? Is she still has hope?
She still has hope. Then I also met these two other mothers in the picture, Socorro Valderas and Rosario Villanueva. They're standing here outside of the municipal building. And their sons have disappeared for either 2 to 3 years, one of them 2 years, the other one 3 years. And they actually have stories, or they believe, given depending on the witnesses they spoke to, that it was after being stopped by law enforcement that their sons disappeared. They never heard back from them. They've looked through cell phone calls, and they've actually talked to other mothers and tried to dig up information that way. Some of them have even met with some cartel members and kidnappers themselves to try to dig up information, and they're finding some commonalities in a lot of their cases.
So what's the reaction from law enforcement when these moms go to them after 17 years or 2 years or 3 years? What's the response?
Well, there's a number of agencies looking after this in Mexico. There's the Attorney General's Office, which is known as PGR, their Organized Crime Division, which is CIEDO, and then the Human Rights Commission. The infrastructure's there, but as far as the investigations, they don't seem to be going anywhere. Majority of people who disappear disappeared. Bodies aren't found, nor are they found alive. And people, as the disappearances have risen, people have really become desperate. And just between 2007 and 2008, there was a 300% rise in disappearances in Tijuana alone. And in the last 5 years, in Mexico, there's been 3,000 unsolved disappearances.
So what are these women, these moms, hoping for now? What is the best that they can hope for given the time that's passed by?
The most that they're hoping for is for some sort of lead into their son's disappearances. One of the mothers I talked to, Rosario Villanueva, she said, I don't believe in justice. Justice isn't anything that could fix what's happened to me and to so many other mothers. About 80% of the people who are searching for their loved ones who've been disappeared are mothers, and they're across socioeconomic classes, and they don't really feel like there's going to be an answer. There's the definition of justice, given the immense violence in Mexico in the last few years, is nothing that they believe could materialize just overnight.
Rux, where can people see more of this reporting? What website can they go to?
Sure. We did this story for Fronteras Desk. That's fronterasdesk.org, and also on our website, kpbs.org.
Ruxandra Guidi, thanks so much for being here.
You're welcome.
A Pearl Harbor survivor who became a symbol of the problem of elder abuse has died. 94-year-old Arnold Max Bauer died of pneumonia at a nursing home in Chula Vista Tuesday. Earlier this year, sheriff's deputies found him living in squalid conditions and charged his caregiver with elder abuse. Bauer was a sailor on the USS Vestal during the Pearl Harbor attack. When deputies found him last January, he was holding a photo of the ship.
I'm Margaret Warner. On the next news hour, the administration's plans to step up America's military presence in Australia. That's Wednesday on the PBS NewsHour.
The American people have named PBS the most trusted source of news and public affairs
for the 8th year in a row.
Trust.
The American people have spoken.
Thank you.
Tuesday at 10 on KPBS.
San Diego researchers may have found the fountain of youth in the most bizarre place, the intestines of a fruit fly. Researchers at Salk Institute for Biological Studies found fruit flies lived up to 50% longer after they tweaked a gene in their intestine. The study is published online in Cell Metabolism. Joining me now is Leanne Jones, Associate Professor at Salk's Laboratory of Genetics and a lead scientist on the project. Dr. Jones, thanks for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Joanne.
Why fruit flies?
There are a lot of reasons why we use fruit flies in research, but for this specific study, it's important to note that the fruit fly can go from an embryo to an adult in 9 days. So they have a very short incubation period. Their lifespan is about 30 days. So if we're very interested in trying to understand what it is that causes aging, or we want to manipulate genes to look at extended lifespan, then having something with a short lifespan makes a big difference. The other thing that was really nice about using fruit flies is the fact that they have tissues very similar to humans that are maintained by populations of cells called stem cells that are important for regulating the turnover of tissues. So, for example, in the intestines, they have stem cells just like humans have stem cells in their intestines. So those are two important features that make them useful for the study in the question.
So what is it that you found in the intestine that actually prolonged life?
Well, we manipulated one gene whose function that we know is involved in regulating these organelles within our cells, and we knew that this gene became active in organisms that are living longer. So we tweaked that gene within the stem cells, and that allowed the delaying of the aging program in the stem cells, which led to the maintenance of the intestinal tissue for longer, and we think that that's why the flies wound up living longer.
So they lived longer. Did they not age? Like, did they live a long time but got old still? You know what I mean, with the disease and everything?
Exactly.
Or did they live healthy?
Exactly. They appeared to be much more active than the flies that were the same age and were kind of more slow moving. These flies appeared, at least on the activity-wise, to look a lot more young. It's very similar to the intestines.
So can you apply this? Everyone at home wants to know, okay, so now what can you do with this in terms of applying it to humans?
Right, right. Well, there's obviously a lot of work that would have to be done in order to take this to that level. I think what we're trying to understand first is whether or not all stem cells age in the same way. Some data from our lab suggests that that's, and other labs suggest that that's not actually the case. So it might not be this gene that we have to tweak in each of the stem cell populations. So, but once we begin to understand what it is that governs the aging program of stem cells, then certainly we can try and activate or delay certain programs in order to maintain stem cell activity for longer, maintain tissue integrity for longer, organ function for longer, and therefore we would be able to have a healthier life for as long as we live.
So the goal is not necessarily just live longer, but to actually delay those age-related diseases we all get.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the idea would be, as I said, if we can delay the onset of these types of degenerative diseases, then that would allow us to live a more healthy life.
Dr. Leanne Jones, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you again. My pleasure.
And now for the Public Square on KPBS Evening Edition. Monday, we asked you about the wealth gap between rich and poor and older and younger people. Do you think it will affect you or your kids' chances at achieving the American dream? Well, here's what Elton told us. He says, I think that it is becoming increasingly difficult to transcend one's social class or the circumstances of one's birth. And Chris says older people are treading water in more lucrative phases of their careers, where younger people, even those who've graduated college, are treading water in the hourly wage slave part of their lives. And on Facebook, Nathan said the American dream is no longer achievable. If you're wondering what PIN stands for, that's our Public Insight Network. And if you want to help us out on special reports, or maybe you just want to comment on the stories you see, you can join by going to kpbs.org/PIN. And now Dwayne has a recap of the day's news.
There were more arrests at Occupy San Diego early this morning. 10 people were taken into custody when police ordered them to clear out from the Civic Center Plaza. Police say the camps have become a safety hazard. And trustees for the Cal State University system have approved a 9% tuition increase. The vote followed a noisy protest and scuffle between police and students. 3 people were arrested, including a student from San Diego State. You can watch and comment on any of the stories you saw tonight on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks so much for joining us. You have a great night.